IVM.
Hey guys, welcome to the debut and only single opening episode of Fight Mania. Fight Mania is a podcast brought to you by IVM Podcasts and is available exclusively on our YouTube channel. As you're watching right now, Fight Mania is actually used to be called the Fighting Goat, but unfortunately people confused us with some livestock channels and stuff. So as my producer Surohini brought out to me, like people are looking for Gai Bakri shows and all that. So I said, chalo, let's change it up. And we've made a complete different change. We've had new branding, and you want to check out the sexy branding where I'm looking like one, bouncer on steroids, but maybe a little less impressive. But that being said, we've got a great show coming up. My co-host is stuck in traffic, but as they say, the show must go on regardless. So we're going to get right into it. But before we do, we're going to jump into a quick commercial break. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcasts Network. On Shunya One, Sheila Ditya speaks with Sakshi Vij, founder and CEO of Miles Cars, about her entrepreneurial journey. On Cyrus Says Cock and Bull, Cyrus, Sara, Kajol and Antariksh discuss how a passenger with no flying experience lands a plane at the Florida airport. On All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk analyze the state of abortion policy and access in India. On Naan Curry, Sadaf and Archit explore and celebrate indigenous cheese with Dr. Kurush F. Dalal. And on The Habit Coach, Ashton shares tips on how to tackle FOMO. We've got some exciting news for you. IVM Podcasts has just launched its merch and our first line is out now. Head to the IVM Podcasts website and click on the shop tab to check out our first collection of t-shirts. Do follow us on social media via IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on. You can also check us out on YouTube. We are also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you respond to our shows and advertising on the network. We would really appreciate if you could spare a few minutes to fill it. It helps us build better shows for you. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week: SBI Life Insurance, Jupiter, a digital banking app, and Cap Gemini. Get the future you want.
And we're back. That was quite a long commercial break, but I was making eyes at my producer, and she was like, "Chup baitho, kaam karo," and all that. And what can I do now? And we are at the mercy of them. I already got yelled at because we've started a little late, for which we sincerely apologize. And my co-host Somesh, Superhuman Kamara, he's not here. Clearly, his superhuman powers have not been working as well. It's a working day, so cut us some slack, yaar. 7:30 baje ka slot hai. It's not easy to make it on time. We'll try better. We will be there next time 7:29 onwards. So I promise you this is the last time we're getting late. But let's just jump in. We've been on a break since we decided to rebrand and do a new show called Fight Mania, which took a little bit of time. Had to do a new logo, had to do a new photo shoot, which is always exciting because it just is, because my look never changes, my avatar never changes. It's the same black leather jacket which I've been forbidden to wear today, but they couldn't keep me away from my sunglasses which are on my head right now. He's like, Raat ho gayi, so sharam karo and all. But I said, chalo, theek hai. I will wear them regardless. So this show, if you're just joining us and if you're somebody new who's new to the format, this show is all things mixed martial arts. We're going to be talking about kickboxing, boxing, MMA, with fight organizations such as the UFC, former Strike Force, Bellator, Professional Fighters League, and many more. But first things first, we got to come to the fact that the Ultimate Fighting Championship has launched a tournament across multiple weight classes, and it is starting off next week in Asia, in Singapore. Out of which here's the fun part. We've got so many great athletes that have been representing India. But now in the UFC, two of our athletes have been picked up in the lightweight division who will represent India on the road to UFC. So basically, it's a tournament, and I think I'm not very clear on it, but the winner gets a six-figure contract and the works, and gets a chance to be part of the UFC. So this is a legitimate chance for our boys to actually make a mark there. Bharat Kandare was the first Indian fighter in the UFC who fought in Shanghai. I think it was approximately in 2018 or so. But ever since then, we've not had another fighter represent us. So Anshul Jubli and Pawan Man Singh both have an incredible opportunity to take this forward. And I was talking to them for the longest time, and they were like, I can't believe I have this opportunity to go here, to go there, to prove it myself, to, put India on the bigger stage. And I said that's such a awesome way of looking at it, because guys like Pawan who have fought all their lives. I remember seeing him win the Super Fight League championship belt in 2013. He won both the lightweight and the welterweight division belts, which are at two different weight classes. And he won both the belts, and he's been fighting throughout. He's such a great person, he's such a great coach. And then you see the next generation of fighters in Anshul Jubli, who is just burst onto the scene. But it's that next generation of fighters which had received better training, which have trained smarter. They're doing things differently. They're cutting weight properly. They're going to the right camps. They're surrounding themselves with the right people. And this is the difference between the new breed and the old breed. So it's actually a great mix of two eras of athletes that are stepping in. Sorry, arey, haath lag gaya, mic was moving. Uh, two eras of athletes. Now you guys, you can't laugh. You're kind of breaking me off my flow here. Such nice. I was monologuing so nicely because Sumesh Kamra is still stuck somewhere near the international highway. Where is he stuck? International airport, no? Somewhere he's stuck near the international airport in one hell of a traffic jam. So if you guys are tuning in and watching it, if you see him from your car window or something, please go lift de do. If you're heading towards Bandra, this is SV Road. This is right here next to this. There's a I love you church peace sign and all, which is right there. You cannot miss it. That's outside the IVM studios. So is nowhere there. And if my entire team stops laughing at me here, is going to turn out to be a better show. But coming back to what's been happening throughout, there's a lot to start up with. There's a lot to talk about. There've been a lot of fight cards, but in the last fight card, there's been a consensus in the last two or three events in the UFC where the judging has been, well, a lot of people have complained about the judging that has gone down. And ironically, they were both in the female divisions. They were both. Ketlin Vieira took on Holly Holm last week, and there was Ketlin Vieira won by a split decision, very, very razor thin split decision. And a couple of weeks ago, the champion Rose Namajunas faced off against Carla Esparza, and that was in the strawweight division, and that was for the belt. But it was a very lackluster fight, and there was not a lot of action going on. But nevertheless, it was still there. It was a good fight. So a lot of the fans and a lot of people were questioning the judging that's been going on. And I wish Somesh was here, because both he and I had a great conversation about how the judging in MMA is so subjective. When you look at it from one perspective, you're saying, okay, you're watching a fight, you're looking at the damage, you're looking at the control, you're looking at a lot of things, and I can understand how a layman's perspective would be different from that of a professional perspective. And I'm not even talking about, say, the judges who are judging a fight. I mean, we've shown our fights to some of our producers here, and some of them thought like some of them are boring, some of them are this, that, and the other, and that's fine. But this is what's been happening of late, and this it's created quite a bit of buzz in the fight community, where a lot of fight fans are saying like, oh, is it? I feel so angry. I feel so pissed off. I'm so upset. This happened, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't understand why there's a reason to be upset. I mean, it's not like you went and fought and you lost. So I understand that you can be upset about it, but let's not shut out the entire sport. People are like, oh, this is the reason why I don't watch, mixed martial arts in general. I'm like, "Arey, kya ajeeb aadmi hai wo yaar? Just because of one bad fight and one decision that went awry, you want to stop watching." But nevertheless, abhi kya kare? This is how it is. But apart from that, there's been a lot going on in the scene in local MMA as well. There've been a lot of events being announced by Matrix. There's actually a lot of things happening in the world of boxing. DJMC is doing an event next month, I think, which is on the 18th of June, which is their Road to the Middle East Crown. And they've had some really good fights. In the last event, I was a part of it, where Sumesh sadly was not there, but I'd gone to Dubai to see it. We had two champions. So a fighter named Sachin Dekwal won against Belal Mohammed from Pakistan, and he put on one heck of a show. And I remember talking about this. It was such a big moment for Indian boxing, and I can't help but keep coming back and reiterating the same point. Here, it's as the sport is growing, it's now getting into the crevices of our industry, of our sporting industry here in India. Because now we always had a lot of good boxers, we always had a lot of good wrestlers. We've seen representation, across the world. But At the same time, now we have never seen such a buzz about the sport within local communities. I mean, like, my producer, she told me that she does jujitsu nowadays, and I was like, what? I'm like, I don't believe it. I mean, if you look at her, she's not somebody who looks like would do jujitsu, but that's the beauty of the sport. Like, you won't, like, Aam Admi people have started doing, and I can't stop laughing right now because she's in front of me trying to stop cackling loudly on camera. But it's true. And if people from every walk of life have started involving themselves in the sport and have started involving themselves in learning combat sports, means it has now reached the grassroots level. And therefore there is a lot of involvement. Therefore, that I can understand there are passionate fans coming out all the time. So we're waiting for these passionate fans to now come and start joining us in these conversations, because that's the point of a live show. You guys can join in, you can write to us, and on the YouTube platform, it's very easy to reach out to us. So you just use the hashtag Fight Mania, and then we will take a look at your questions, because you got a couple of guys who have been sending in comments, but we can't really answer any of them unless you use the Fight Mania hashtag. So, guys, we're looking at Abhineet Mandal here. Arjun sir, big fan. Areva, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And a lot of people are sending me some messages, but we will get to that. We will have a section. I guarantee there'll be a segment where we're going to look at everybody's messages. But up until then, oh my God, Padhareo. Look who has made it after me handling the show for 40 minutes alone now. Mr. Somesh Kamra has walked into the studio in full grand style. They say that making a late entrance is a great thing, but kabhi nahi hota hai ye, sir. So, welcome to our inaugural episode that you are late for. So, please apologize to all the wonderful fans.
I
that
am
have
very
logged in.
sorry, ladies and
Sharam ki
gentlemen.
baat hai.
I am so used to the lockdown traffic that now that everything has opened up,
Abhi, ek saal hua
it
hai.
has become so different and difficult to travel from other parts of the city. But yes, I'm here. Speaking about locked up and locked down,
Locked up was a show, na?
what happens when we get locked into the cage?
What happens? We get a lot of things. But hang on, you said locked up. It was that who's that other show here? It's Kangana Ranaut's show, na? Locked
Yes, it is Kangana Ranaut's show, and I
Up. No, but
think
Surohini was telling me that she auditioned for it last week and all.
yes, she did. She
Yeah.
did, but she was too thin because she's 36 kgs.
Yeah, correct.
So,
But just she started doing jiu-jitsu. I mean,
Really?
that was a shocker to me, man.
oh wow, that's amazing.
She's talking a lot of
That's
smack
great.
about you also, because she came late. She's going to get you in a flying Alma Plata and stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Right. And in fact, see, these are the other rich kids of Mumbai that stay in Bandra Khar, so they can afford all these fancy gyms and all of that around us. But speaking of Fight Mania, I'm so excited to be here. We are live with Fight Mania. That was formerly called the Fighting Goat.
The Fighting Goat, yeah. And I just said, we had to change the name because we were being mistaken for a livestock show.
Yes.
Guy, Bakri and all that. They were like, there were a lot of farmers coming and asking legitimate questions. बोला अच्छा ये झगड़े वाला शो है क्या? अच्छा उसमें betting
Yeah.
होता है क्या? I'm like, नहीं sir, वैसे type का show नहीं है.
Thefightinggoat.pk where they have these fighting things happening in some regions of Rawalpindi and stuff. But speaking of going live, we are excited to go live on our first podcast of Fight Mania, which I obviously came late to, and I apologize.
No, you have to apologize to everybody. Boss.
I'm
It's-
so sorry for
And me, mostly
for coming
me,
late. And
mostly me.
Arjun, see, the thing is that I was just looking at whether Arjun can handle a show alone or not.
Oh.
I was just sitting outside with my cup of coffee and just
Acha,
chilling for
acha,
20 minutes,
वैसे.
watching this awesome show on YouTube. Guys, you need to share this right now, because the moment you do, it's going to get us a lot of questions, a lot of queries will be answered, and we are here to speak to you, to interact with you, and to give you the latest updates, and obviously the new format of the show, which is YouTube Live on the Fight Mania YouTube channel.
The one of the first things that when I was thinking of when we started the show, I said we've taken a break for a month and a half.
Yes.
And there's so much to cover.
Yes.
And there's a lot to cover. So I just, I was chatting with everybody and I covered the fact that, in the last two pay-per-views, we've seen a lot of fans and a lot of fighters complaining about the decisions that have been happening.
Especially on the last show.
Correct.
With the Holly Holm
Holly
fight.
Holm, Kathleen Vieira, and with Carla Esparza and Rose Namajunas.
Yes.
A lot of people complained about it. And I just explained to everybody that, I said, I understand that you're invested in it, etc., etc.
Yes.
But you have to look at it that judging is subjective. It is subjective. Now, I know you're going to have an opposing point of view, but
Yeah.
I said judging is subjective because look at as a commentator at the ring, you're looking at one fight.
Yes.
As a judge, you're looking at one fight, and somebody in the house, somebody at home watching is looking at another fight.
See, but not everybody scores those fights. The three judges in the octagon who are just outside the octagon are the ones that scored the fight. And the Kathleen Vera and Holly Holm fight was totally berserk because be it ground control, be it strikes, head strikes, body strikes, she was up in everything.
Yeah, but
except for the takedowns.
But
one
Vieira,
takedown.
but Vieira had the heavier shots.
Right,
The only
right.
thing that I can say is like when look at Holly Holm.
Yeah.
If you look at her style, it's that in and out, jumping in and out, high paced, high cardio,
Yes.
point scoring style. When she'll
Yes.
push you against the cage, land pitter patter shots and get out.
Yes.
But that's-
Volume strikes, basically.
Yeah, volume striking game plan. It's a solid game plan. It's a tried and tested game plan. Maybe not the best game plan in the world, but it's a tried and tested game plan. And I'm saying when you have such close fights, there are going to be chances, there are going to be times when you are on the wrong side of a decision.
Well,
It's
yeah,
going to happen, you
and-
know. So I'm not very upset about it because let's say it was a very close fight.
It was undoubtedly. It was a very, very close fight. Holly Holm. See, also what happens when any fighter comes into the fighting arena, be it a ring or an octagon or a cage or something of a sort, there's a perception that they come with. So Holly Holm, that has fought for the championship belt, that has won the championship belt, obviously needs to prove that she's dominant versus Kathleen Vera to even win the fight. And even if she's half as dominant and if the judges feel no, she could have done better, sadly it goes to the opponent. And that's honestly, that's the way judging works. It also is based on perception of a certain fighter.
True. I mean, but if you look at Holly Holm, she's been a point fighter. I think apart from that knockout of Ronda Rousey, she's really not knocked anybody out in MMA.
Yeah, she's not finished too many.
I don't think she's finished anybody.
I think she's finished Bete Kohia, with
I mean,
that head
okay,
kick and
okay. Let me rephrase. I'm talking about say top five finishes.
Yeah,
Like,
she's not finished anyone, to be honest.
Yeah, she's not. She's got a certain style, and I think to sum up, it's just that sometimes this style will lead to a loss from time to time in a split decision.
Well, can you imagine? I guess it's Misha Tate that's fighting in July, and if Misha Tate beats her opponent, how good would Holly Holm and Misha Tate 2 be?
It would be very good. But hang on, Misha Tate has changed divisions. She's down to flyweight now.
Yes, she's gone to
gone to
flyweight,
flyweight,
and then she's coming back to bantam.
And Valentina Shevchenko was in an interview.
Right.
Valentina Shevchenko is the champ right now. One of the greatest champions that have graced that. She's now lining up for her seventh title defense in that division.
So, as you rightly say, it is Valentina versus
Ritual sacrifice. Valentina versus ritual sacrifice. Insert name here. I'm not insulting anybody, but it's become that she's at that level where once Anderson Silva used to be. It's not like not like, oh, if she's going to win. It's going to be like, how is she going to win?
Absolutely. See, but also Valentina is from a region in the world where she takes each fight very, very seriously. Sadly, Anderson Silva showboated Chris Weidman and he got knocked out in that one. But to be honest, Valentina Shevchenko looks at every single fight in a laser focused manner. And
after 16 fights, you're going to get pakored.
Tyler Santos, good luck to her. And she's fighting in Singapore. Hopefully, I'll see that live. But if not,
oh yes,
hang
on, guys, hang on. So our next pay-per-view coming up is, of course, a fantastic card.
Yes.
But it also, what I was talking about earlier was the UFC announcing the Road to UFC,
Yes.
which starts in Singapore. It's a tournament across multiple divisions.
Yes.
And I was congratulating our two heroes from India, Pawan Man Singh and Anshul Jubli, who have made it to the slot. So Mr. Kamra has been very instrumental in working towards getting these guys on the slot roster.
Right.
So that entire tournament kicks off, and how long is it going to last now?
2 days. So this particular
it's just
segment,
a 2 days one.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's going to be 2 days, 9th of June and 10th of June. But since it's a knockout format, it's going to go all the way from June till December this year. And one fighter from each weight category, which is flyweight, bantamweight, featherweight, and lightweight, will get a UFC contract.
Man, that is a chance, and how?
It's crazy. It's crazy. But it's beautiful. You know why? Because last year, when I was talking to the UFC, we were in fact discussing on getting some Indian fighters into the Ultimate Fighter or Dana White Contender Series. And suddenly, plans changed, and they had this entire thing called Road to UFC that was formulated in January this year. And I spoke to the head office in Vegas, and it was like, yes, Feb, it was decided we're going to be getting Indian fighters on, and then I started scouting for them. Sadly, Roshan Mainam missed out this time.
Yeah, man, I was waiting for him because I think he's now in the backup roster, right?
Yes, he's in the backup roster. In fact, his
Okay.
name is also on the UFC website. But sadly, what happens when any competition comes to Asia, the lighter weight categories are just
Yeah,
more
man.
in number.
I mean,
You
if they
know,
started just taking me, I'm a natural light heavyweight. I mean, I could easily cut down to feather. I could easily cut down to welter. I mean, if Alexander Volkanovski can come from 240 to
145.
145, I'm pretty sure I can make it to 170.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure I can make it to 170 frame-wise.
Absolutely.
But Somesh, the thing is now, it's a great opportunity for our boys for sure.
Yes.
And it's going to be one heck of a tournament.
Yes.
But do you remember the kind of tournaments we saw during the K1 and Pride days?
Yeah, it's crazy, because in fact, we almost had around 150, 200 names in the entire pool. And since we have 4 weight categories, 8 from each weight category, we could only select 32. And when this was really announced that the Road to UFC is happening, believe it or not, I got almost 250 phone calls from fighters, managers, coaches that,
Dude.
our guys are ready and they want to do
Yeah,
it.
man.
And I was like, yes, I love the enthusiasm, but India still needs that credible amateur circuit so that our guys are constantly competing. See, my eyes are always at the market. My eyes are always looking for talent. And honestly, the guys that took me seriously way back in 2021 October, when I first said that I want to get some guys into TUF and Dana White Contender Series, those people are currently fighting in the Road to UFC because they took me seriously. They actually called me and said, listen, if this is happening, I'm in. Tell me what to do.
Yeah, true. I mean, see, the thing is that it's not going to be, every market, for anything to work in a market, there has to be local talent.
Absolutely.
And unless
Absolutely.
there's local talent coming out, I also had a word. I was talking before you arrived, because you were so ridiculously late. I also had a word.
I was just sitting outside having coffee. I was just seeing how you handled the show, and it was spectacular. It was spectacular.
Thank you, sir. No, but we honestly spoke about. I was talking about how the country is now suddenly getting into grips with combat sports.
Yes.
Where everybody from our producer to our directors to everybody is doing jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
I mean, who thought like Suroini is a 3rd degree purple belt?
I mean,
I was like, shit, dude, she's gonna rip my arm off next time she sees me. If I'm
Absolutely,
late or something.
eh,
Tu ruka
eh,
bhi now after the show, I'm sure we have a separate beat down. I've seen her shaking her head and all that. And no, but I'm just saying is that we've got so many Indian athletes who are winning.
Yeah.
We've got so many Indian athletes who are looking to represent the country, but not just represent the country. Because guys, remember I told you, Somesh, a couple of months back in Dubai, where Sachin Dikwal won the Middle Eastern belt.
Yes.
Against a Pakistani fighter.
Yes.
And it was more of these guys now saying, okay, you know what, I'm happy to represent my country, but I need to make some money now.
Well, absolutely.
And I like that.
In fact, Nikhat Zareen just won the gold.
Dude,
in the World Championship.
congratulations to Nikhat Zareen in the female World Boxing Championships.
Yes.
She won gold and she's got her eyes set on the Olympic medal.
Absolutely. And why not? Because she's young, she's showing absolute talent, she's promising, and obviously she is a good marketable figure.
And she completely is. But it's such a good thing to see so many great athletes coming on. But that being said, we're going to run into a quick commercial break. We've got a lot more to chat about. It's our first debut episode, guys. So come on, share it with everybody. Share the link. We're on YouTube live. We're going to be here every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Habits? Routines? How exactly do they help us get better? Well, to simplify it for you, tune in to the Habit Coach podcast. I am Ashton Doctor and I'm going to be here to help you get better daily with some simple, easy to do habits that you can easily adapt to your life. So tune in to the Habit Coach podcast from Monday to Friday because I believe that awesome lives start with awesome habits.
Oh, here we are. We're back. Sorry, the commercial break was a lot shorter. And our producer just had a little bit of a joke. We said we had 1 minute to do this. We thought that chalo pani pi ke aate, etc., etc. But it was certainly a lot
बट
shorter than
हमारे पास
that.
स्पॉन्सर्स नहीं है तो अभी क्या करें.
अरे IVF के पास sponsors है sir, हमारे पास. Also, हाँ, but guys, if you like the nature of the show, please feel free to give us your money. And I'm saying it
Yes.
बेशर्मी के साथ. Completely. I will wear your clothes. I will drink your drinks. I will have your coffee. I will water your plants. I will try and wear some of the clothes, especially Zara, which doesn't fit me really well. But hint, hint, start making bigger sizes.
I know. Zara थोड़ा जरा बड़ा करो.
Zara बढ़ा दो please size आपका. Okay, but we're not inspired. But no, so Somesh, coming back to our initial conversation that we were
Yeah.
having of, of the growth of the sport in India. And
Yeah.
it is growing at it's growing at such a steady pace.
Yeah.
Where every corner, I think everybody here can say in their neighborhood has at least one gym that says MMA boxing.
Yes.
Or it might not be at the level, but it's the beginning. And I think we saw that in the in the 90s in America. I'm not talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, say, MMA. MMA was started becoming big, and then towards the end of the 90s and the 2000s began,
Yeah.
where organizations like Pride and UFC took over.
Yeah.
That thing just exploded. Do you think we're on the cusp of something like this coming up into the next decade?
Well, absolutely, yes. I think the way India is progressing as a country, at least when it comes to sports, with our Minister Anurag Thakur launching the Khelo India initiative. And in fact, there's a Khelo India program being launched in each state. So
Wow.
I think Himachal, Manipur, and Assam have formally announced the Khelo India initiative, where government funds and infrastructure will be provided for various sports. And honestly, kudos, because yes, see, as a developing nation, these things will take time.
Yeah,
it's
of
it's
course.
very, very easy to compare us with the West and say, yes, our guys need to get into the UFC or the Bellator or this or NBA or whatever. But it doesn't happen that way, because even those countries started 30 years back at some level.
No, of course, and it's before the US took off, it was Japan who was doing much better.
Yes.
In terms of their athletes coming out and fighting
And not getting paid.
and
So,
not getting paid or and whatever.
Yeah.
There's always a start somewhere.
Yes.
So every organization, like anybody who talks like, XYZ organization in India is not up to the mark. At least it's there. At least there's a chance out there. People are getting a chance to put up a pro record. And
Yes.
if it was not for the smaller organizations in our country,
Yes.
guys like Pavan Man Singh and Anshul Jubli would not have had a chance to show off their skills and their talent
Absolutely. So
and go forward.
it's not about winning or losing. To be honest, it's about starting. And that's exactly what I like about what's happening in India. And Arjun, what you rightly said, gyms may not be up to the mark, but at least they are there.
Correct.
There's
They
a start
started.
to it. We have a blueprint that says, yes, if you start here, in 5 years, we can be here. And that's
Correct.
exactly where we need to be. So I love that about the way India is growing. I would like it to be a little more often, because the UFC, absorbed Bharat Khandari in 2017. And
He
there
fought
were-
in 2018, right?
No, he only fought in 2017.
Oh, 2017.
And
Okay, I got my
we
dates
had a
wrong.
shot to fight on a pay-per-view 2018, but that didn't happen.
I think
because
that happened because of some discrepancies in his tests.
Yes. And after that, there was a huge void for like about 4 years before we actually got this chance to send our guys in the road to UFC.
But in
And-
all fairness, 2 years we were in lockdown. So
Yes, we were.
The whole world was, except for the UFC.
Yeah.
That did a great job by putting on all their shows and kept it going with Fight Island and the Apex. But honestly, I cannot go back to listening. I was looking at some of the tapes from when we started off.
Yeah.
By the way, it's our 2-year anniversary. It's our IVM. Of course, we've finished 60 episodes at the Fighting Goat.
Yes.
And it's our first episode. But on our Sony show as well, it's our 2-year anniversary.
Oh,
because
wow.
today was the day that we interviewed Herb Dean.
Oh,
Today was the day
yes.
that we did Herb Dean's interview
Wow, that's
on
awesome.
Sony 10-2 Pit Stop.
Well, time flies, man.
time
flies.
I was
And-
so thin then.
And before this episode's time flies, we love it if you interact with us, if you talk to us. So please hashtag Fight Mania. Please talk to us in the comments box. Ask us questions. Let us know what you think about this. And we would be more than happy to answer any question that we can.
Absolutely. I like the fact that we've switched to a live platform.
Yes.
Because we did the same thing. Remember, we used to do the same thing with our Sony 10-2 pit stop show.
Yes.
Which was
Yes.
every Sunday at 5 p.m.
Yes.
And we had a lot of, it started off slow, of course, because we were a young show and we started off slowly.
Right.
But eventually we had so much of interaction with the fans.
Yes.
And guys would write in and write to us all the time. And, positive or negative, go out and make your voice heard, because, we're thick-skinned people here.
Yeah. I mean,
some more than others, but yeah. But my point is that it's a great way for the fans to interact with us.
yes.
And we actually we met a lot of guys, and I'm not trying to sweeten the pot, but the
You
more
are,
you interact
yeah.
with us, the more you get the merchandise,
Oh, yes.
which is soon going to be behind me right now. This is not for this thing, huh? You can't get this. It's only for this. Came from our producer's personal private collection. This little medal thingy, and
and especially the toys out there.
and the toys, and I
Yeah.
think it's I dropped. This is a very, very special item
Yeah.
that is not available on the show. But
yeah.
perhaps if you can write into us, somebody will respond to you and talk to you about
yes.
the toys that are on my shelf right
yeah.
now.
Yeah. That specific one is called Brown Pride.
Hey, no, don't say anything about Cain Velasquez. Yeah, poor guy.
Yeah.
He's
poor chap.
battling the battle of his life. In prison right now for something that I think any grown man would do for his family.
Correct.
Any
Correct.
grown man would do. I mean,
You
if somebody molested your child and you find out who it was,
Yeah.
you're going to go and put a bullet through him.
Absolutely.
And that's what
yes.
Cain Velasquez tried to do. So we are on Team Cain, free Cain Velasquez, because I think what he did was right.
Absolutely.
You rather have a man who would hunt down a pedophile than have a pedophile walking the streets.
Absolutely, yes. But what we are going to focus on right now is how
Hey, the next pay-per-view, boss.
exactly we're going to
We
be
haven't
talking about
spoken
how
about our pay-per-view.
we're going to be talking about how Yuri Prohaska is looking to hunt down Glover Teixeira live in Singapore,
Oh my God.
in the Singapore Indoor Stadium, and that's going to happen on June 12th, which is after
Oh
the
my
road to UFC.
God.
So we're going to be on a high because I'm really hoping Pawan
Hey, you're going
Man
to
Singh.
Singapore, no?
So I may go, may not go. I'm not too sure.
Hey, duty free se lana
But-
saman, huh? Please, I
but-
want stuff.
But what we are going to hope
Everybody's
for.
raising their hands here also. Kya chahiye? Chalo. Our producer also saying chocolate, no? For sure. No? Pakka. Sawal.
Absolute.
For coming late and all. Come on.
Absolute vodka and chocolates.
Absolute vodka. Only no. The drinks have to cost only 900 and above. Then otherwise she's not interested. We went to Janta and all. The other day. So the beauty of going at this during the show during this time slot, there's a place called Sunraj. Okay, which is a great like a nice bar. Maybe
No, we scheduled the show at 7:30 p.m. so that 8:30 we can leave for Sunraj.
Correct. 8:30, 9:15. By the time you're in Sunraj, it's 9 o'clock. You finish 1, 2, eat some food, and then 10:30, you're off home. 11 o'clock in bed, bright as it is. So we invited our producer out, who said no, and saying that no, it is too LS. It's too like DM. And I'm like, what is LS and DM? Because I'm not from this generation.
Yeah.
And like she's like, oh my God, it's so down market.
Yeah.
So like low society. And this is the exact accent, huh, by the way. I'm not kidding. But no, we're getting it's our first show, we're digressing, and I'm getting very distracted with this. But we've got a great fight card coming up in front of us.
Yes.
We've got 2 title fights on the same card. We've got the women's division. Valentina Shevchenko is taking on, I've forgotten her opponent. I need to take a look at it.
Tiala Santos.
Tiara Santos. Never count out the Brazilians. These guys are tough as nails. They come to fight. And we saw that when Gilbert Burns fought Khamzat Chimaev.
Oh my God, that was a banger.
Everybody wrote off Gilbert Burns. They're saying, oh, Khamzat is going to run through him. I never saw Khamzat get beat up.
We never saw Khamzat so humble after a fight.
He was A, humble after a fight. B, he knew somewhere that was a very close win.
Absolutely, yes.
It was something. So, never count out the contenders. So Valentina Shevchenko defends her belt. And of course, we have the light heavyweight title on the line as well. We've got the crazy man.
Oh, we've got Yuri Prohaska looking to take away the belt from a very resilient Brazilian Glover Teixeira, who's I think 44 years old.
42, I think. 42. not
42.
44.
And he just tweeted by saying, I'm going to beat Yuri and Jan, you are next.
Dude, but Jan, he already beat.
He's already beaten Jan, but Jan was promised a title shot because Jan was facing
Jan faced Israel Adesanya.
No,
After
Jan.
which he lost the belt to Glover Teixeira.
Yeah, so he just faced. Who did he just
He didn't
face?
fight. He just
No,
fought.
he just fought right now.
Alexander Rakic. Correct.
Alexander Rakic. He just fought Alexander Rakic.
Or as they say in India, Rakesh.
Rakic got that injury. It was considered as a TKO loss, and he's going to fight the winner
Yeah.
of Yuri Prohaska and Glover Teixeira. But the fight that I'm really looking forward to be honest, Mystic Chips, is Wiley Zhang and Joanna Jędrzejczyk in Singapore.
The next, they fought, I think, in the start of 2020, January 2020.
2020.
Before, the shitstorm that took over the world.
Yeah.
They fought, and speaking of shitstorm, man, that fight was a storm in itself. I mean, Zhang Weili battered Joanna Jędrzejczyk on the feet. Badly. But I think, sometimes a long hiatus is sometimes what fighters need.
Yes.
And
yes.
Joanna has taken a considerable amount of time off. She's taken almost 2.5 years off. She's coming back relaxed. She's coming back well rested,
motivated,
and much more motivated. Remember what happened when we saw Max Holloway come back against Calvin Kattar?
Oh my God! He just put on a beating.
There is nothing. It's not there's no better way to explain it. That was a straight up whooping.
Absolutely.
I've never seen anybody get beat like that.
Absolutely.
And so maybe we might see the resurgence of Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Absolutely. I completely think so. Because, her talks have reduced. She's training hard.
I want to see the boogie woman. Yeah.
But, she's looking like how she was when she won the belt. She's looking absolutely fearless. She's looking monstrous. And I somehow feel she's going to beat Wiley this time.
I think Zhang Weili is a very, very tough competitor.
Yeah.
She's very difficult to pick apart as such. She's not easy to knock out.
Yeah.
I mean, Rose Namajunas, there couldn't have been a more perfect kick that landed in the first fight.
Yes.
And the second fight you saw was a lot closer. It was a dog fight. And I think somebody like Zhang Weili, but like we say, Somesh, always, the rematch is never like the first.
It is never. So in fact, the first fight was when Joanna had that huge hematoma out here.
Oh my God, I remember that.
That was absolutely crazy.
And some people, some other media outlets from India, I'm not going to say who, made fun of it. If you remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't you remember? They sent a picture saying before, after, some meme they made out of it. And it was quite distasteful.
I was not aware of that.
But
But what I was aware of, or what I am aware of, is a cancellation fight which hurt me the most.
Which one?
Is Robert Whittaker versus Marvin Vittori. That was on this card.
Oh yeah, that was true. That's true. Robert Whittaker versus the Italian stallion
was on this card, and Robert Whittaker pulled out due to an injury. So just imagine if we had Robert Whittaker and Marvin Vittori also on this card.
No, life is not that good. Yeah. Life is not that good. You can't get everything.
I think at some level the UFC makes fights in a way that yes, this could get cancelled. So at least there are 3 good fights.
Dude, 3 good fights out of 6 is a lot.
Oh, I think there are 5. I think there are 5 on this card.
It's a 5-fight card?
Yeah, I think.
Just run us through the entire fight card, right? I mean, I wish we could put it up on the screen so we could do like a tail of the tape. But I think that's a segment we can start doing from next time onwards.
Absolutely.
But I'm just going to pick up sheets and put them up, on the camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm going to show you differoences of, height, weight and stuff.
Well, we have Jack Madalena versus Ramazan Imiv, which is there. There's Rogerio Bontorin versus Manel Cape.
Dude, Cape versus Bontorin is a banger.
And we straight go on the 3 big fights, which is Wiley Zhang taking on Joanna Jędrzejczyk. There's the co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko taking on Tayla Santos for the women's flyweight championship, and Glover Teixeira taking on Yuri Prohaska for the light heavyweight championship.
All right, we're slowly reaching that point of the evening where we have to kind of start making our predictions, and in full tradition, we must do it the right way. Where now we are in a live setting, so I can see Somesh Kamra sitting in front of me. So this is a straight up. I'm leading this prediction game
6 million to 5 or something.
6 million to 3 or something. So next time, if whoever wins the predictions, we get to punch each other. Okay, and this is now on live TV. So he will come over and hit me right in the arm or face or wherever. Not face, please. I know this is not much of a money maker, but still, it makes some money. Like my mother-in-law is happy; she gives money when she sees me. So it's a money. All right, so sad jokes apart, we're going to do that entire segment, and of course, since we're in the live format, hashtag Fight Mania. With your predictions of the entire fight card, will get you your chance to win some cool merchandise.
Absolutely.
Our Fight Mania mugs out, and this IVM podcast mug is up for grabs, guys. So just you say the magic words, and Surohini will send this to you immediately. A special gift basket from ivmpodcast.com.
Absolutely. Yes, we are going to get into the predictions. Just 3 fights that we're going to be predicting right
Yes,
now,
sir.
which is the top 3, starting off from the bottom, Wiley Zhang and Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Mystic Chips. Let's go.
No, first you.
Okay, so I think this particular one is going to be taken by Joanna Jędrzejczyk, is what I firmly believe.
I pity the fool. No, I no. Jędrzejczyk has got a great chance to do it, but I think Zhang Weili will pull it back. I think she wins by decision. Yep.
Oh, wow. You see, it's a 3-round fight, and hence I'm...
Oh, wait, 3 rounds?
Yes, it's...
Oh, yeah, then definitely Zhang Weili.
Okay.
Yeah. 3 rounds. I had because Joanna Jędrzejczyk has the ability to drag it into deeper waters. She's got a great gas tank.
Yeah.
But in a 3-round fight, it's like betting against Jessica Andrade in a 3-round fight. That Mike Tyson-esque power is always there.
Right.
Earlier in the rounds.
Right.
Then later,
I'm still sticking to my guns. It's a 3-round fight, which is the third fight from the top. I'm going to go for Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Mystic Chips is going for Wiley Zhang. So, guys, make your picks. Hashtag us on Fight Mania. Please tune in to the Fight Mania YouTube live channel and speak to us, talk to us, ask us any question. We would be happy to answer it. Going straight on to the co-main event of the evening for the women's flyweight division. Oh, it's Valentina Shevchenko versus...
Man, that's a good one.
That's
a tough one. You never know,
You never know. But,
Ketlen Vieira, when she fought Valentina Shevchenko...
Oh, that was a good one, yeah.
She took her down in that second round, on the first round. Before, Valentina turned it back and then went on God mode.
Yeah.
But it was a tougher fight than people gave her credit for. And
absolutely.
Ketlen Vieira is also a tough Brazilian. And who's making her way back up the ranks. But I don't know. Tyler Santos, sometimes when these contenders don't talk, they come out of the woodwork and they just come out with their guns blazing.
Like Carla Esparza.
Carla Esparza came out. I mean, the Venezuelan vixen.
Oh, man, Juliana
she
Peña.
Beat Amanda Nunes.
Black and blue.
And but see, it's very difficult to do that Valentina Shevchenko because Valentina is so focused.
Yeah.
She's got that razor sharp, She's a stone cold killer. When she steps into the cage, it's with one mission: to seek and destroy.
And she treats every fight like her last fight. So this is my first and last fight, and that's how I'm going to treat it. And hence that laser focus is so difficult to beat. It's so difficult to beat. I just don't know how someone can bet against Valentina. I feel and still the flyweight champion of the world, Valentina Shevchenko. And I don't even think it's going to go 5 rounds, max 3.
But what if?
No, it's Valentina Shevchenko.
Actually, that's true. Yeah, this what if segment doesn't work for Valentina Shevchenko.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
So God mode Valentina takes it within 3 rounds, according to me.
And it's in Singapore. She trains in Thailand. It's almost like a home crowd.
Correct, pass me and all. Flight was not long.
It's like I'm just going to go finish my job and go back home type of thing.
Correct. So how long is the flight from Singapore to Thailand?
I don't know, maybe 3 hours or something.
Lesser, no?
Yeah. I don't know.
We need to go party, dude. I'll come join you in Thailand after that. No? क्या है सिंगापुर के बाद काम खत्म करने के बाद मैं आता हूँ ना क्या है उसमें?
Well, speaking of partying, we're going to be speaking of the fireworks in the main event of the evening for the men's light heavyweight championship of the world. Glover Teixeira taking on the madman Jiří Procházka.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those great fights where, we see an old lion taking on a young lion. In fact, and figuratively.
Here, your what if segment could work perfectly.
The what if segment works here well because what if Glover Teixeira shocks the world? I mean, we don't know the betting odds right now. Are they in the favor of Jiří Procházka or in the favor of Glover Teixeira?
Well,
I would think it's Jiří.
To be honest, I am not too sure about this. I don't know. But here, what if can really work well? Me personally, I'm going to go with Jiri Prohaska, who's going to be the new light heavyweight champion of the world.
I think so too.
Mystic Chips, what do you feel?
It's a very tough one. Glover was, a lot of people thought that Jan Blachowicz would run through Glover Teixeira, but no, he surprised people with his power.
Yes.
And not to mention, once he's on the ground, he's got strangling jiu-jitsu.
He's gritty,
He's hard
he's
to
like,
beat.
He's like Alexei Olenek.
Yeah, Alexei Olenek, God. I mean, Alexei Olenek gets a hold of you, good luck to you.
Yeah.
Your body
Yeah.
is gone. Like, they will destroy you. He will destroy you after that.
Absolutely. So who's your pick? Let's go.
So for me, I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be Jiri Prohaska.
Interesting.
Because I think we're going to see a new champion.
See, also what happens, we saw Jiri Prohaska.
It's just the styles.
We saw Jiri Prohaska versus Dominic Reyes, and he took some of Dominic's hardest shots.
Oh my God.
However, I do believe Glover Teixeira hits harder than Dominic Reyes.
No. Come on. No.
But you never know.
Dominic has got a very rangy, lanky style, and he can tag you from corners and distances. And because of his football training, the way he moves laterally for his shots are incredible.
But he's not strong enough. It's not
the strength.
Glover has that torque in each one of his punches.
Yeah,
and
that's if Glover gets into your range. And somebody like Jiri will stand in front of you. But I think it's, I think it's also Glover being able to take shots, because I remember what happened when Glover faced Anthony Rumble Johnson, another hard hitter.
Yes.
And he stood in the pocket with Anthony, and Anthony put his lights out.
Yes. Oh my God.
He stood in the pocket with the former title contender
Alexander Gustafsson.
Alexander Gustafsson put his lights out with a combination.
Yeah.
I think somebody like Jiri Prohaska, who has great angles and can cut corners so beautifully to land those strikes and keep Glover guessing. I think it's going to be a tough night for Glover Teixeira, unless Glover changes the whole ball game by tiring Jiri out on the ground. That is a great strategy. The grappling might be a big part of it. So, but that being said, I'm still going to go with Jiri Prohaska.
Me too. So we are on the same boat for the main event and the co-main event of the evening. Mystic Chips and Superhuman Kamra are on two different boats when it comes to Wiley Zhang and Joanna Jędrzejczyk, but that is it from us on the first episode
what a great episode we've had.
The Fight Mania. We were just warming up. I know I came late. There were a lot of ups and downs here, but we would still want to hear from you. Please share the link below. Talk to us. Hashtag Fight Mania, hashtag AMA. Ask us anything and get a chance to win some really cool Fight Mania merchandise.
Fight Mania merchandise, which is still yet to come out. But more importantly, guys, follow us. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. My handle is at Arjun Chips on Instagram, and on Twitter, I'm at The Mystic Chips.
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram, somesh.kamra, and Twitter is somesh_kamra. As simple as that.
Awesome. And that concludes, guys. We are at the end of our live. I'm getting some dirty looks from everybody around me. So it's time to wrap up this awesome first live. We're back on our first episode of Fight Mania. So support us, follow us, and stay tuned every Thursday evening, 7:30 p.m. only on the Fight Mania YouTube page. Don't miss out. We'll see you. This is me, Mystic Chips, Arjun Chipalkatti, and Somesh, the Superhuman Kamra, signing out. And we will see you all next week.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.
Do you find yourself in a room full of people talking about investments and insurances and feel left out? Do you also want to understand how to spend your money wisely? Then you have come to the right place. Welcome to SBI Life Presents A Sip of Finance, a women-exclusive podcast where we break down difficult financial topics into simple and straightforward episodes with your host, Priyanka Acharya, a finance expert who's been in the industry for 14 plus years. And not just in English, but in 7 more languages. So tune in every Tuesday for fresh episodes on the IVM Podcast Network and all major podcast streaming platforms.